Welcome to Iltv's Israel Daily. I'm Amit Harari, and coming up in today's newscast. From Azerbaijan to Turkmenistan, Foreign Minister Eli Cohen landing in the Islamic State for the opening of the historic Israeli embassy. Meantime, cultural icon Yehonatan Geffen dies at 76, providing the soundtrack for Israelis of all ages. And finally, a taste of the Holy Land's finest exports with Iltv's Wine of the Week. Extraordinary first in Warsaw as the leaders of Israel, Poland, and Germany stood together for the first time to honor the heroes of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. The leaders had to put aside some political tensions, but come together they did to mark the 80th anniversary of the uprising against the Nazi occupiers. ILTV's Steve Leibovich reports.
Sirens are sounded in Israel every year on Holocaust Remembrance Day, but this year they also wailed in Warsaw as a sign of commitment to the commemoration of Jewish Holocaust victims in Poland. Dozens of Holocaust survivors and dignitaries joined the Israeli, Polish, and German presidents gathered at the Polish capital's monument to the ghetto heroes and stood to the sounds of the sirens for a minute of silence in memory of the Jews who staged an uprising on the site 80 years ago.
Każdy, kto sieje nienawiść, każdy, kto depce drugiego człowieka, depce po grobach bohaterów powstania w getcie warszawskim, depcze groby pomordowanych Żydów, ale depcze groby także wszystkich tych, którzy pomagali wtedy tym prześladowanym, tym mordowanym.
ולדמיין מה הם היו אומרים, מה הם היו חושבים, לו באותן שעות אפלות, בתעלות הביוב המצחינות, במרתפים המחניקים, למול קני הרובים והטנקים, היה מישהו לוחש לאוזנם שכעבור 80 שנה נעמוד כאן נשיאי פולין, ישראל וגרמניה, נצדיע לגבורתם ונשבע יחד שבועת נצח לזכרם הקדוש, שבועה שליבה אחד, לעולם לא עוד.
Die wichtigste Lehre aus unserer Geschichte lautet: Nikti wiecie, leolam lood, nie wieder.
The gathering took place amid diplomatic tensions between the three countries over the historical narrative of World War II. Israel's relations with Poland were frayed after Warsaw passed a law in 2018 making it illegal to blame the Polish nation for Nazi crimes.
גבורת המתנגדים והמורדים וצוואת הזיכרון של אותו פרק נורא בהיסטוריה, בו העם היהודי עמד בפני השמדה מוחלטת וחורבן פקד את פולין ומדינות רבות אחרות, הם מצע לדיאלוג חשוב בין פולין וישראל ולקידום הידידות בין עמינו.
The Warsaw Ghetto Uprising was the largest act of armed resistance by Jews during the Holocaust. Two Jewish underground movements launched a series of attacks against German troops with makeshift and smuggled arms. It took several weeks to quell the uprising. The Nazis then burned down the ghetto and murdered the survivors.
FM Eli Cohen landed in Turkmenistan last night. As on his way there, he met with his Azeri counterpart, discussing the close relationship between Israel and Azerbaijan, while also discussing its closest neighbor, Iran. Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen arrived in Turkmenistan on Wednesday night for an extraordinary diplomatic visit to open Israel's permanent embassy in the capital Ashgabat. The visit to Turkmenistan is part of Israel's policy to seek alliances with countries bordering Iran. Against this background, Israel's strategic partnership with Azerbaijan has recently reached new heights, due, among other things, the establishment of the first Azeri embassy in Israel. The visit of Azeri Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov and Minister Cohen's visit to Baku. Yesterday, Azeri President Ilham Aliyev met Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen while praising the recent opening of his country's embassy in Israel and positive development of bilateral ties. Aliyev said the two countries stood to benefit from cooperation in business and economic spheres, including green energy, smart technologies, and agricultural development. Early in April, Azerbaijan said it was expelling 4 Iranian diplomats over provocative actions in the latest deterioration of relations between the neighbors, in part due to Baku's improving relations with Iran. Relations between Azerbaijan and Iran have grown increasingly strained in recent months, with the dispute coming to a head when Baku opened its embassy in Israel on March 29, more than 30 years after the establishment of diplomatic relations. FM Cohen said in a statement that Azerbaijan's geographic position on Iran's border makes the relations between Israel and Azerbaijan highly important and with great potential. So we know the news in Israel is fast-paced, and we want to let you know that Iltv's new app is now available. So if you want to stay connected to the latest news from Israel, the Middle East, and the Jewish world, download our app now on all your devices. It's available in the App Store for both Android and iPhone. President Mahmoud Abbas met with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, discussing various topics from the Palestinian Authority to strengthening the Saudi-Palestinian ties. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas met Wednesday with Saudi Arabia's ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in the kingdom port city of Jeddah. During the meeting, Salman expressed his country's support for efforts that will guarantee the rights of the Palestinian people to an independent state. The meeting came as a delegation of top Hamas officials were also in the country, reportedly to meet with local officials in an effort to patch up ties with Riyadh. The visit was not officially confirmed by either Hamas or the Saudis. However, Hamas leaders Ismail Haniyeh and Khalid Mashal were spotted wearing white garments symbolic of the Muslim Hajj pilgrimage while circling Islam's holiest site in Mecca. The trip by the senior Hamas delegation represents a major development as Israel's hopes for forging ties with Riyadh appear to be further than ever. Although both Israel and the Saudis were interested in aligning against their common rival Iran, the recent rapprochement deal between Riyadh and Tehran is further complicating the efforts. And joining us now is Yoni Ben Menachem, expert on Palestinian affairs and a senior research fellow at the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs. Yoni, Palestinian Authority President Abbas and a Hamas delegation are currently both in Saudi Arabia at the same time. Is that by chance? I mean, what is each looking for from the Saudis?
Well, for Mahmoud Abbas, of course, it's not the first time, but Hamas was boycotted by Saudi Arabia for a few years. Hamas is considered a terror organization in Saudi Arabia, and there are a few dozens of Hamas activists in Saudi jail. And this is an important development for Hamas, because this is some sort of a rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Hamas because of the agreement that Saudi Arabia signed with Iran. Now Saudi Arabia is getting closer to all the members of the evil axis headed by Iran, and Hamas is part of this axis.
Now, what does that actually mean for Israel? I mean, no one ever hid that we want to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia during the Abraham Accords. Didn't happen till now. What does that mean for Israel?
The problem with Saudi Arabia is that they made a U-turn, and they now are joining the axis of Russia, Iran, and China in the Middle East. They are breaking away from the axis, the Western axis headed by the United States. And this is happening for two